Welcome YouTube to another Legion daily cast here. Tried one earlier, didn't work out, uh, but this time we should be able to find something of interest. We do have Xcode and Snekkles together that will be participating as Trudeau's henchmen in the Masters Cup this weekend. They will be facing Peini and Tsabo on this occasion here. We do have the Atom Stars here uh, from Xrd here, a old favorite of his. He reached the highest elo due to that special build that he has done with the atoms, so we will discuss that in the future. We do have a Sky Queen opener for Snekkles, Tsabo on his part going for a Gate Guard opener, and Piney's going for the Daphne. So everybody receiving a 20 cent here. I do believe it was all king ups. Yes, it was only who is the only one who didn't send? Tsabo was the only one who didn't send. He's going to send a Snell paired with a king up, I presume, here. But Snekkles does not need to put any tier 1 up top. The Sky Queen will be strong enough to hold any sends here. And so, after receiving this kind of send, Snekkles should be in a good position. But Tsabo doesn't, yeah, Tsabo does finish up the send. 40 cent here. Let's look at a tier 1 of Snekkles here. It is a Chain Fist, so this Chain Fist is not able uh, to hold wave 3 when paired with the Sky Queen, so he will need more than that, so he's kind of stuck at 5 workers at the moment. He will be able to push 6 workers after wave 3 though, if he feels comfortable, but no, he's going to try for it, but this will lead to a small leak on wave 3, even to a no send for Snekkles. Oh no, there's 2 Chain Fists, so we will be fine here with 2 Chain Fists. Just need to share the aggro, exactly like that. So he's in a good position now. Tsabo will probably not send here. Peini as well is saving. So Snekkles taking the lead in the workers due to that little Snell send. And we do have the 3 atoms here from Xgod. So his idea of the build is that he wants to keep those alive as much as possible while focusing the same target. Instead of sharing the aggro as much as possible. So he's sharing the aggro between 2, but this middle one is purely for DPS. So that's why most people do it in the split on the other side here. But Exod is preferring that one because he's helping the other attacking the same target. So he's preferring the DPS over the shared aggro. Do we know what is the best? We do not know for sure. I can sense the positioning of X-Scout is of course better because you can focus out the tank if there's one. But if you do a high push, then it's better to have something in the split like he's doing now. So he's adding it later. And I'm not sure why this one over the Proton. That is an X-Scout special. And it's yet to be determined why that is. But I'm pretty sure this one is the next one that he will go for. But so everyone's 6 workers except X-God. He's getting saved on right now. Peini is probably aiming for a mole as soon as possible. Let's see how he looks like. He is undervalued. He will struggle next wave if he does not send. Unless he gets that Royal Guard. Snekkles does have additional pressure on him. And X-God as well is saving. So this is a long save game. We do have the Imps here on wave 5 against X-God. But to be fair, the atoms are one of the best to deal with that. So let's see what he decides to build. So he has enough only for... Okay, yeah, going for the tank here and using purely the atoms as backline DPS here. They will tank after the Wanderer. And X-God going for income to allow him to get that. Snekkles looking pretty strong here. Strong setup with the steeds and the fortified armor. But those are still imps, and imps are quite powerful on wave 5. Very few builds can handle them. So let's see how it does. The income send should be easily covered on the other side. But this is still a brute on the side of Peini. But still doing decently. So Snekkles is leaking to the imps here, despite having the Sky Queen. The imps are doing great good job against the Atom as well, so this will result into a leak as well for Xgod. This Proton not taking any aggro does hurt Xgod in the long run. And so, yes, we do have a first king damage from Peini and Tsabo, but they are the king themselves, so it's not the end of the world. They share king damage. There was some low HP creeps here, but still in the end, Xgod and Snekkles are taking way more king damage than Peini and Tsabo will do. And it's all about the workers here. The workers is in favor of Peini right now. Xgod and Snekkles are not pushing that heavily, and we see here 35% king damage advantage. But the gold is still perfectly even. It's just the worker count that is in favor of Peini right now. That's pretty much the only advantage that has been gained after this play, despite not counting the king HP, of course. So this might be another long save. And looking at the builds of Xgod and Snekkles, wave 9 is not out of the question. But if they read that correctly, then Xgod and Snekkles can try for another cut play on wave 8. They are themselves very strong on wave 8. It is Peini and Tsabo that are pretty much struggling on wave 8. Tsabo will have only Arcane. Yes, he will have Pegasus, but he has no pierce damage whatsoever except for the punk. So if he does not shift one wave for the punk, then he might be in trouble. But wave 7 is the choice here. And let's see what Xgod and Snekkles are doing here. They are saving. It will be 2 brutes. Does he get it in time? Yeah, 2 brutes for Tsabo and Peini each. We do have the Badger here from Xgod. I would much prefer to see the Badger on the split, if I'm honest with you, because this Proton is doing absolutely nothing right now. So we'll see in due time. We do have a Pegasus spam here. It will help tank a little bit, but now it's just a question of surviving. So let's see in details how it goes. The other side does not receive anything, as we said. Now one brute has been sniped here from Snekkles. The Sky Queen is almost full mana. Does it have time to clear all the wave? The attack speed is not maxed out here from the Sky Queen that I cannot select for whatever reason. And no, it's not enough for him to hold. But Xgod is only leaking the 2 brutes. And yes, only the 2 brutes are leaked here, so this is not lethal. Yes, they would have preferred to hold, but still, sub 40% leaks will still result into a lot of king damage, but they now have the pressure advantage for the first time this game. So now it's the question of making it count, and I do believe wave 8 was the play here, but it doesn't seem like they want to send. But I think it's the right play to send here for them. Like 8 into 12 should be of interest for them. Let's see what they decide to do. They do decide to go for 8 here. I really like that play against the Gate Guard. We will see Daphne's here. He has a Dehardened Monument as well, so not perfect. A lot of he does have the Arcane Defense. And now it's a question, does he protect Daphne's? He needs to protect those Daphne's if he wants to survive. He will see the Pegasus here from Tsabo, but no real threat against the Pack Leader yet to be seen. Sadly, Xgod cannot push the Pack Leader into the split, so the Harbinger has a chance to kill it quite early. And Snekkles is indeed sending the Mole here, but the Mole against what? The Mole does not make real sense here, except for tanking some of the damage before the wave, so mostly used as a tank and not for its ability. So the wave does reach the Daphnes finally. They will leak Peini, but due to the Pack Leader not being pushed into the split here, we do have a decent hold from Tsabo in the end. Yes, he will still leak a little bit, but it's still not what Xgod and Snekkles were looking for here. What could have been better? Swift Armor Tank. So, Mass Fiends, yes, it is not a Pack Leader that buffs the damage, but it is a frontline that prevents the Harbinger from reaching your wave, and the wave 8 is your damage. So going for Mass Fiends is income, and the better Sen in that situation if you do not get the Ghost Knight, that is. But if you would have gotten the pack leader in the split, then that's a different story. It would have been much better to have Brute plus pack leader. But with the amount of Mitim he had, the double Fiend with a Snell, the Fiends are pushed towards those Harbinger, while the Snell is distracting the Fire Archer as long as possible. It was just a better combination. So this was not enough king damage for them to do anything. The moles are coming. The mole is very good against X-God. The mole is very good against the Sky Queen here. We do have a lot of Oathbreaker here from Snekkles, but it does not seem to be enough here. Peini even adding the Brute here to push the mole onto that side of the atoms. But everything is going on that side. It's still not fixed the aggro here on that single Proton. That does not seem to be adding any any value to that build, to be honest. But what do we see here? 30 gold. That is the mole being sniped already. So this is the base case scenario for X-God here. So he might be able to hold here. He still has a lot of atoms, but the brute is still alive. That's a lot of damage, and the reduced damage they take from the atoms, the wave that is, can still lead to a leak. But the Sky Queen from Snekkles is doing work here, and that is a hold from Snekkles, and that is indeed a hold from X-God in the end. So proving me wrong here, and sniping the mole early was crucial for X-God, and now they're going back to the pressure game in the lead. They need to aim for wave 12, they need to be careful on 11, but 11 is the strongest wave that I can see from X-God here. A lot of pure damage, a lot of fortified tanks, so 11 and 12 seems pretty strong for both X-God and Snekkles. Snekkles is still vulnerable to a Siege Ram on wave 12, so we need to check that out. Is wave 12 the play for everybody? I do think everybody will try for that. If someone is scared, we might see a income send on wave 11, but the income send on wave 11 would only sign the death of the team that decides to do so. So now X-God and Snekkles do see the LOD from Peini, so that might help them choose wave 12. Do they have the courage to do it? We do see the value from Snekkles very strong here, and Tsabo going for the mold on wave 11, and that is not the play. He was very far undervalued. He's leaking wave 10, and maybe that's a pro league that they really wanted to go for that. But if you want to go for wave 11, you don't want to go for the mole. The mole just tanks everything, does not contribute anything with its aura, and so it is essentially just a tank. So you're better off going for only income if you want to go that route. Peini is not sending though, and Exile is sending him. He does not want to wait on wave 12 Snekkles, sending after income the Siege Ram. So realizing that the enemy team might go for out of assault, they do, but it was only income here, and the income for Peini, I'm not sure the income from Peini really took off here. And everybody is undervalued by a large amount, but we do, as we said, X-God and Snekkles do have the big tanks here. We do see the Ghost Knight, the Pack Leader, we do see the Siege Rams from Snekkles. Snekkles stayed low worker to be able to be very strong here. Does have the 2 Royal Guards, paired with a lot of Oathbreakers with good DPS. I do not see Snekkles leaking here to that kind of sun. Peini only going income as well, going even for the Hermit here. That is not the most effective send here against Snekkles and X-God, but this is a 360 send onto Peini, a 400 send into Tsabo. Let's see how they do. The Ghost Knight just barely goes down here. The Siege Ram is now down onto Peini, but still the whole wave is alive. The LD is exposed, and here a whole wave is leaked from Tsabo. The whole wave minus some units is leaked from Peini. So this is king damage in even lethal here. We do see X-God holding safely as well as Snekkles, and they take it with a bold call to go 11, realizing that the leak from Tsabo might have told them that it was a high push from him, or he was pretty much out of the game, and they needed to just be safe. They were ahead, and they just made the right decision here. So it looked a bit scary here on wave 5. The imps are very hard to manage, of course, but they did get long saved here. Snekkles pushing to the 6th worker was the correct play in the end here, but he didn't go for a lot of income to keep up with it, so this means he was leaking wave 5, but at least he protected X-God also by doing that, by him not leaking too much, not being able to push too much also, Peini that is, and so punish X-God. So oftentimes, yes, you might push extra workers, but it's also good that you are able to hold a longer time without sending so that you can prevent the enemy from pushing as much worker as you do to help your ally not be out of the game after a long save. So those are the little details that were very well executed by Xcode and Snekkles here. Yes, you take a lot of damage here. You do go for a counter punch on wave 8. They do very well to hold the send here on wave 7. Uh, I mean, the leak was massive, but it is brutes, so non-income. It was not the weakest wave that they saw, but I think Xcode could have done better if this Badger was on the split, and also that one of these atoms, like this back one, was on the split. Because this proton contributed nothing. No damage and no tank value. So I think this is just a little detail that he needs to adjust in his build. I know he likes to do it, but I think he just placed that too far up. And then if he plays the Wanderer a little bit far down here, then this proton is tanking 1 or 2 units, and then it has value. So I just don't understand this one. But in the end, yes, the wave 8 was a good counterpunch here. Take down their King HP. Wasn't as much as they expected because the pack leader was not in the split as we discussed. Fiend could have maybe done better, but who am I to question that? I do not have the tools right now to test it. But I do think that the Fiends were a bit better. And a massive hold on wave 9 here from Snekkles and Nextgod. Snekkles doing very well with a large amount of frontline here, a lot of Oathbreaker, Sky Queen fully max mana, high attack speed, and the mole snipe from Xgod was crucial. If the mole is not getting sniped, the Atom DPS is reduced by such a great amount that he might have leaked here. But Snekkles was still holding, so the king damage would have been minimal. And here, after the 10 leak from Tsabo, it was a long wave. Xgod was pushed. They realized we cannot afford to go for 12. It has to end 11. They received a send. They hold it, but that's because they went for a send as well themselves. Snekkles did go after income for the ram, but Xgod did go before income for the Ghost Knight, and that was the correct thing also because Snekkles stayed low workers to be able to cover Xgod, and Xgod did push a lot more to have the pressure and the scaling for later. So very well played, and thank you for watching. See you next time.